welcome to the Hard Questions Real Answers podcast, and today I am joined again by our special friend Steve Arterburn, best-selling author and founder of New Life Ministries. Steve, thanks for coming back. Today we're going to hit you up with some more hard questions. Looks like the bruises have all healed.
Yeah, they are, and I'm thankful to be on with you. I'm a big believer in Back to the Bible and the research you guys do, the things that you do to shore up the importance of God's truth. It's pretty amazing.
Man, I pinch myself. I can't believe I actually get to work for Back to the Bible. It's a huge honor. It's a huge honor to have you on the program and to speak with you today. We've got a lot of questions from people in marriage, whether it's from a wife talking to us about a husband who's had an affair, whether it's maybe a husband who's talking about their wife has had an emotional affair or been reading fantasy novels. Whatever that is, what do you say to a couple who is actually looking for some healing and they want to get past these issues? How do you coach them?
Well, one of the great truths of life is that two drowning people can't prevent themselves from drowning by swimming harder, or you need outside assistance. And so in these very, very tough times when somebody's unfaithful, there's tremendous hope for reconciliation and restoration if you're willing to open up to somebody and get some help. But it needs to be the right kind of help. We do a marriage intensive. It's a weekend intensive, and we have about a 95% success rate with people that hate each other and will never, ever think about getting back together. Well, I just tell them, before you leave, just be willing to say you've done everything possible. And we use Mylan K. Yurkovich and my own material, and we've been doing this for years, so we've figured out how to do these little breakthrough things that allow for restoration to occur. And it's almost like a miracle to see it. So there's always that. You can find out about that at newlife.com. There's some really great Christian counselors. But one of the problems we have in the Christian faith is if you've got some kind of really horrific thing that's happened like this, Jeremiah 6:14 says, they treat the mortal wounds of my people with superficial treatments. From prophets to priests, they do it. And that's what you want to be sure is that whoever you're going to isn't going to try to do something superficial when what you need is surgery. And so you need to be sure that the person you're talking to is trained and is experienced and has helped people rather than just spout off some things that they think are right or helpful.
Well, and I think through your website, you can actually help people find biblical counselors. Is that correct?
Yeah, we have a network around the country of people that, we've done everything we can to find the best who are theologically sound. And that's
very important.
There's so much theological weakness in this day and age that it's hard to find a therapist that is willing to stand up for truth, but do it in by means of grace and mercy that can be accepted.
What do you say to a spouse who wants reconciliation, but the other spouse is just off doing whatever they want to do? What do you tell them? Because that's kind of a hopeless situation, isn't it?
Sometimes it's hopeless until the one that's, we'll say the victim, finally does something. I'll hear people say, well, he's had 7 affairs, but I don't believe in divorce. Well, I don't believe in divorce either, but I also don't believe in allowing someone to have 7 affairs and me sit home and do nothing. So I might encourage that person, why don't you help them experience some consequences of this by filing for a separation? That's not divorce, but many times when you do something that's not expected, the person wakes up and, oh, wow, she's not a doormat, and maybe that alone, the embarrassment of now my spouse is not living with me or I'm not living with them, can wake a person up and bring them back to a place they want to get some help. But enabling, there's a proverb that says, when you wink at wrong, you cause trouble, but an open rebuke brings lasting peace. And a lot of people think God honors peacekeepers. God does not honor peacekeepers, honors peacemakers. And sometimes we have to disturb the peace to make peace. And so You need to do something, not just sit around. And I don't believe in divorce either, but I do believe that sometimes reality, consequences can snap a person out of this life that they're living, which is unholy and dishonoring of the marriage.
Well, I think that's a great place for us to pause for this episode, because in our next episode, we want to talk about taking control back. Will you come back for one more episode?
I will, yes.
Awesome.
Happy to.
Awesome. We'll see you soon. Thank you for listening to the Hard Questions, Real Answers podcast. To learn more about our podcast, be sure you check out backtothebible.org. Also, if you enjoy our program, be sure to give us a rating and share us if you like us on your favorite podcasting app. Remember, ask the hard questions and only accept real answers.